come back to you. You're an economist, you have a crystal ball. What happens to energy prices?
Well, my crystal ball sometimes gets a little cloudy. But as a financial market economist, I'm always looking for unexpected linkages, things which are strange and yet when they happen. And as the ambassador said, why are we talking about the Arab Spring in relation to the tsunami? The link is perfectly clear. It's energy prices. Not only are we not going to have nuclear as our fail-safe, we now have disruption of supply in Libya, etc. So we have energy prices now very high. Now, in the green world, and I recall just the video we saw at the beginning, everyone is very green. What does that mean? It means non-fossil fuel supplies of fuel. It means turning a lot of food into energy, into fuel. Therefore, food prices go up. And this is part of what I think, again as an economist, not a politician, you look at what's happened in the Maghreb, a significant chunk of it is the rise in food prices. This was really apparent 2-3 years ago when food prices went up 50%. Then came the recession and they dropped back again, but they have been remorselessly going up. In the past year, food prices are up by a third. And so for the people, the young people in North Africa, they're first of all experiencing huge rises in food prices, and then they can't be employed over here, and then their economies now have loss of tourism, so they're unemployed. And the combination of a group of young people, disaffected, unemployed, and hungry, what do? They complain about their government. And they go on the streets, nothing to lose, they complain about the government, there's an eruption, and then we're left with something new, but it doesn't have a political format. There's no new set of politicians ready to step in, because it is literally the people have risen up and thrown the rascals out, to use the sort of British approach. It's rather more than rascal in this case. So the consequences of this are very profound, and they have these strange effects, remote it might seem, but an earthquake in Japan knocks out nuclear power, not only in Japan but Europe, impact on energy prices direct, the biofuel question, turning food into fuel, is that good or bad when people are starving? An immediate political reaction to high food prices. It's an amazing linkage, but it's happened.
But could I slightly argue about the thing? I think, first of all, the food price issue is absolutely crucial. I'm amazed at how slow the European food distributors have been to realise that their whole market attitude has changed. I mean, the growth of supermarkets throughout Europe has arisen entirely on the back of internationally lowering food prices and a greater availability of food. And so, although they have accelerated the drop in food prices by being more efficient and the rest of it, the fact is they were an entirely benign atmosphere to be able to do this. Yeah. They don't know what you do if food prices go up in the opposite direction, because this is not their business model in any way. And if you talk to them, there's a sort of general hope that things will change, rather than any kind of understanding that you've got to find a new way of doing. How do you compete when you can no longer compete on food price? You've got also to do something about competing on food supply. Where are you going to do that? And then you run into another, I think, one of the undiscussed scandals of the world, which is that the world's food supplies are in the hands of 4 American-owned private companies. And all of them have, and they have absolutely no public force on them, because they don't have any market. You can't pressurize them, and they are traders. We know what traders are. Traders are people who make a margin. Their whole business is how, and traders have to have something to trade with. We will see the attempt to control where the food is grown and where it's going to go to. There will be all sorts of things, and we're going to find ourselves in a real issue here. The thing I don't agree with is the argument, which I think is much overhyped, about food or fuel from I just think the figures do not stand up on that. I mean, you can do it if you have ridiculous governments like the American government, which has always subsidized its farmers to a much greater extent than the European Union, and then attack the European Union for doing precisely what it itself does. The most protectionist nation in the free world is the United States of America, and it does it by a mixture of a kind of agricultural policy which is an outrage, which destroys other people's economy, and by then aggressively selling those products into other people's markets and undermining them. So I think it's dangerous to use the biofuels argument except as a marginal one. The big argument is that the world's demand is outpacing the world's supply, and it's going to be bloody hard. I think this is the most dangerous situation we could be in.